gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Welcome to Holybourne Theatre. Tonight's performance will begin in a few minutes, so please turn off your mobile phones or switch them to silent mode. To comply with the law, you are not permitted to smoke anywhere within the building. We request you smoke only in the clearly designated areas outside. In the event of an emergency, a continuous alarm bell will be sounded. The nearest emergency exits are situated at the back of the auditorium and in the main theatre entrance. An additional exit is positioned at the back of the stage area. Every performance relies on many volunteers, on stage, off stage, and backstage. If you would like to join us, please talk to one of the helpers about membership of Holybourne Theatre. Details of forthcoming productions are detailed in the programme and notice boards around the theatre. Thank you for your attention. Now, please sit back and enjoy the show.
Eric, don't point, Eric, it's rude.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Force of habit. You wanted to see me?
Yes, I did. You know, Eric, sometimes a deities myself is presented with some difficult decisions.
I can imagine, sir.
I mean, take this fella, for instance. He's a loving husband and father living a relatively blameless life, with a few minor indiscretions. Until a couple of weeks ago, that is, when he felt the need to shag his neighbour senseless. When he broke 2 commandments and a deadly sin, just like that. Just like that. I mean, I'm as forgiving as the next deity, but...
what did you do, sir?
Oh, well, he's toast.
Oh,
I know, it seems harsh, but 2 commandments and a deadly sin? It's too far, Eric. I mean, it's much too far. The gentleman in question needs to learn that while I am, if nothing else, forgiving, my laws are inviolable. I've marked him down for reincarnation, to give him a chance to repent. You're due to pick him up next Tuesday, I think.
And the neighbour, sir? The neighbour, sir? What's to be her punishment?
I was pondering that very question, Eric, that very question. She's going through the process of a divorce, so while she is technically guilty of adultery, I feel that in this particular case, the spirit rather than the letter of the law should be observed.
But she's committed a deadly sin, and in coveting, she's broken a further commandment.
And therein lies the quandary, Eric. Has she broken a commandment, or has she, in point of fact, exploited one of the many legal loopholes which currently exist?
Loopholes?
Well, the commandment to which you refer forbids one to covet one's neighbour's wife.
Indeed, sir.
Well, there you have it.
I'm sorry, sir, I don't quite get
for my sake, Eric, I'm so bloody dense. Wife, Eric, wife! Makes no mention of a husband, does it?
Well, no, but surely the spirit
of my laws are for benign interpretation in the interests of merciful action, Eric. It would be utterly irresponsible for me to go around willy-nilly interpreting laws on a whim. My world may be infinite, but there's no point being draconian about these things, is there? I mean, where would it all end? Next thing I'll be bringing people in on the most minor of indiscretions, a paperclip stolen from work. Looking at internet pornography, blasphemy. I mean, can you imagine the impact that would have on the complaints procedure?
Well, I see what you mean, sir.
Peter's already been complaining about her workload. I put my head round the door of the waiting room the other day. Utter chaos in there.
Now, you're going to have to excuse me now, sir. I've got a collection to make. It's in Basingstoke. The traffic is bloody awful on Friday.
Forgive me, Eric, you don't need to be hearing about my problems. But as I said, an omnipotent such as myself is often presented with difficult decisions, and there can be no room for sentiment. let's cut to the chase. I've had some consultants in to look at productivity, and they've raised some questions about your performance.
My performance, sir?
Yeah, these blue sky thinkers, they're telling me that your cost per corpse is too high. Right? You're spending too much time on each soul. You're not streamlining properly. You know, every time I go to the annual deity conference, those pagans at the back start sniggering.
With respect, sir, I don't think you fully appreciate the realities of the job I do. I mean, it's all right for the pagans, isn't it? I mean, they've got that hot little witch with the, doing the job. I mean, nobody minds going with her. But the people I go to collect, they don't like me very much. In fact, to say they don't like me very much is pretty much an understatement. Most of them seem to hate me. I think I scared them.
Well, it's an understandable reaction, Eric. I mean, look at it from their point of view. 1 minute you're out having a round of golf, you get a sudden pain in your chest. Next thing you know, you're lying on the deck, staring up at some guy with no face and a razor-sharp side. I mean, that is bound to be a little unsettling, isn't it?
Exactly, sir. I put them off. I mean, they take one look at me and they start screaming. I guess I could change my image a little bit.
That's exactly what we were thinking. The top team and I have been doing some of this thinking outside of the box, and we've decided that your entire department is in need of an overhaul.
An overhaul, sir?
Yes, I mean, so as of next week, you and Famine will be doing a job swap, and War and Plague will be doing the same thing.
But I don't want to be Famine, sir. I mean, I like doing what I do. Besides which, I don't know anything about what Famine does, other than when he comes strolling into the office, my workload goes through the roof.
I consider this a chance to review the role, Eric. Look at this, a job opportunity. A report to Famine's office on Monday, I think that's all.
But, sir, I don't think...
There is no I in team, Eric.
Well, no, but I'm surely there's...
Just talk to the hand, Eric, because this face is no longer listening. Right, come on then.
Who the bloody hell are you?
I am Death. Well, temporarily. We're doing this whole job swap thing. I'm usually Famine. Today is reckoning day. It's your time, sunshine.
No, it bloody well isn't.
Yes, it is. Says so here on this docket. Heart attack, it says here.
Well, I haven't had a heart attack. I'm having more tea. And I'm about to watch The Vicar of Dibley.
Well, I suppose it'll happen any time soon. You're scheduled for a 9 o'clock departure. I'm early. Mind if I sit down? It's you, right, Kel? So, had a good day?
I beg your pardon?
Your day? A good one, was it?
Well, until about 2 minutes ago. Here, Edna, love, are you listening to this? This bloke reckons he's deaf.
Is he dear? That's nice.
Is that a fry-up?
What if it is?
Bad for your heart, fry-ups. Hardens the cholesterol, raises the cholesterol, hardens the arteries, and soon all you're wondering is what that tingling sensation is going down your left arm. Then it's all white lights, dark passageways, and heavenly choirs.
You can't talk me into having a heart attack, you know.
I'm just saying you ought to leave off the greasy food, that's all. Mind you, I guess in your case, it's rather like shutting the barn door after the horse has bolted.
But who sent you?
I have been sent by God. I am his angel of death. Well, temporarily, as I say.
Here, Edna, that's a good one, isn't it? Reckons he's been sent by God.
Is he dear? That's nice.
Listen, mate, I've had a very trying day, and I want to get home for my own tea, so if we could just hurry this along. You're about the fourth person that I've had to try wrangle out of being dead.
What happened to the first three?
Oh, yes. I had to, persuade them to come with me.
Is the time up?
That's what I've been trying to tell you.
Well, I mean, the minute, is it up yet?
Oh,
I see what you mean. I'll have a look. Oh, bloody thing. Must be slow. Oh, will you please be quiet?
You what?
Not you, him. Oh, yes, that's right. You've got all the answers, haven't you? Oh, well, if you're so clever, why don't you come up here and do my job for me then, No, I didn't think so. Easier to hide behind that cloak of invisibility, isn't it? Don't you walk away from me. Don't you dare walk away from me.
Who are you talking to?
What you... Death, Hades.
Death.
Oh, you dear, that's nice.
Who in the name of Christ is Hades?
He rides with death. Says his name means unseen, which is bloody convenient when you think about it. I don't know why he has to ride with me, you know. All he does is take you people down to the river, pots an oboe under your tongue and hands you over to Charon.
Hands me over to who?
Charon, the ferryman. Takes you on the river, down the river on your final journey.
Here, Edna. I'm going to meet a bloke called Charon. He's going to take me on a boat trip down the river.
Is he, dear? What river will that be, dear?
What river did you say?
The Styx! The river bloody Styx! Jesus H. Christ!
It's the Styx, Edna. Where's that then? Cumbria, is it?
No! It's in the underworld! Oh, you stupid man! Listen, it's very easy. You're about to die.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No.
Yes, you are! And when you die, Hades the unseen here places an oboe under your tongue, takes you down to the river, and hands you over to Charon, who takes you to the heavenly gates. There you'll be judged. If you've been good, you get in. If not, it's back to Hades, Charon, and off to hell.
What's an oboe?
A woodwind instrument.
So, he's going to put a woodwind instrument under my tongue.
What?
Well, you just said that this invisible bloke was going to put an oboe under my tongue.
No, I didn't. I said he was going to put an oboe under your tongue. You stupid man!
Well, that's a relief. What's an oboe?
A coin. Your fare.
Oh, Edna, they're going to pay more fare.
Are they, dear? That is nice.
There's only one problem.
Yes?
Well, I'm not dying. I don't feel like dying anyway. I'm not trying to wangle out of it. I'm just not dead.
Right. There's only one way to settle this. Bloody thing. Keypad's locked.
Well, press menu start.
Oh, thanks.
Hell. God!
Oh, hello, sir. It's Geoffrey. Oh, it's Jeff.
Not again. Geoffrey, how's it going?
Well, sir, I'm trying to make a collection, and the gent doesn't want to come with me. Says it's not his time.
Oh, well, they all say that. So what's the fellow's name?
Oh, his name, sir. Bear with me. Roger Harper, supposed to have had a heart attack 7 minutes ago.
And he's still alive?
Yes, sir, eating his tea. Says he's about to watch The Vicar of Dibley. They're running reruns on Dave.
Ah, here we are, yes. Mr. Harper, 73 Periwinkle Lane.
73.
Yes.
Not 37 then.
No.
Right.
What's another wrong address, Geoffrey? Surely poor Mr. Harper's probably up the road decomposing as we speak.
Oh yeah. Didn't think they were supposed to do that, sir.
Do what?
Die, sir. Without me. Thought that was the whole point of being death.
Death comes to everyone, Geoffrey, except it seems in this case to poor Mr. Harper.
I'm on my way, sir.
Come in. Ah, hello, Peter. What can I do for you?
This job swap, sir.
Yes? What about it?
Well, how to put this? Not to put too fine a point on it, but I don't think it's going very well.
What do you mean it's not going very well?
Well, we have two big problems.
Come on then, tell me the worst.
Okay, the first problem is that we have about 300 souls rioting in the waiting room. They barricaded themselves in, taken 3 cherubims hostage, and are refusing to move until you meet with them to hear their grievances.
Oh, come on, Peter, there's always a few ingrates who think they've been taken before their time. You know, your boys and girls should be used to this by now.
That isn't what they're kicking off about, sir. It's more the manner in which they were taken.
The manner in which they were... Oh, you've lost me.
OK, the ringleader was a bloke named Colin Perjury. Oh, you won't find him on the arrival sheet. I already checked. I also cross-referenced on the database, and he wasn't due to arrive until 2032. Anyway, he and his wife arrived home from the supermarket this afternoon to find some dude wearing chinos and loafers and carrying a scythe standing in their living room.
Jeffrey.
Mr. Perjury, thinking the bloke's a nutter,
Not so very far from the truth as it happens.
challenges him, at which point, and I'm paraphrasing here, our chino-wearing friend starts ranting on about people not being where they should be, being kept waiting, yada yada yada.
Well, that's not good. I mean, that's not good at all.
It gets worse. When Mr. Perjury refuses to shuffle off his mortal coil, our friend starts swinging with the scythe. 1 minute it's happy families, and the next it's like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Only he doesn't stop at Mr. Perjury. When Mrs. Perjury tries to leg it, Jeffrey gets after her. She made it as far as the front door.
Bloody hell, that's terrible.
According to Mrs. Perjury, the last thing she heard was, "Come back here, you daft old bat. Don't make me come after you in these shoes," followed by some terrible hobbling sound and shopping. "I'll give you bloody shopping. Buy one, get one free."
Well, this is dreadful, but I mean, simply dreadful. Do you know there's tens of thousands of people, hundreds of millions of people, in fact, who happen to think that I'm quite a good bloke and could be trusted to look after those who live in accordance to my laws. And yet, in the case of the Perjurys, whom I assume to be devout and upstanding people, what's their first experience of me? That dyslexic lunatic with his serious anger management issues. I mean, the only upside here is at least it's confined to the waiting room.
Ah, if only.
What do you mean?
Well, they barricaded themselves in, so no one can get out.
Yes?
Well, if no one can get out, then no one can get in either.
You mean the celestial staircase?
I'll just stand still.
And the tunnel?
Worse than the Butts Bridge at a Friday rush hour. Which brings us to our second problem.
Well, how could this possibly get any worse?
In addition to the 300 rioting souls, we have a further 2,500 people in the holding area. From Belgium.
From Belgium?
Yes, Belgium. Another plague.
Another plague? But in Belgium?
Yes. Cows this time.
Oh, I see. A plague of cows.
Cows.
Well, he's taking the piss, isn't he?
It's a bloody outrage is what it is. Famine is an art form, honed over thousands of years, and now, apparently, any old Tom, Dick or Harry can do it.
Any old Tom, Dick or Harry?
Oh, I'm sorry. Any old Tom, Dick or Eric.
I'm sorry, Jeffrey, I'd quite forgotten. It takes enormous skill to be able to chase a 60-year-old woman down the corridor, making sure that she's, got those orthopaedic shoes on first, and then cut her head off. I mean, how remiss of me not to see the skill in that.
You're a fine one to talk. 3 weeks we've been at this, and what have you achieved?
For your information, there is a famine raging in the Sahara Desert as we speak.
The Sahara Desert? But nobody lives in the Sahara Desert, Eric.
I think you'll find that isn't the opinion of the 3 Bedouins who went without their breakfast this morning.
So you've inflicted a famine on 3 people who routinely go for days without eating.
And this raging famine, as you call it, started roughly what? 2 hours ago?
Shut up! The lot of you. Have some decorum. We are the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse.
Horse people.
What?
Horse horse people, Albert. Not all of us are horsemen.
Don't start with that bloody woman's lib crap with me, woman. We could hardly be the 3 horsemen and 1 horsewoman of the apocalypse. It would be bloody ridiculous.
Be that as it may, Albert, we live in a world of equality, and I simply must insist...
This would never have happened in Algernon's time.
Oh, that's right. Let's dredge up ancient history, shall we, Geoffrey? It's all Algernon this and Algernon that. Is this not the same Algernon who, if I'm not very much mistaken, had a nervous breakdown and tried to recreate the Black Plague in his bedroom?
All right. He was as mad as a hatter, I'll grant you. But at least he had style. At least he had panache. At least he understood what it meant to be a horseman of the apocalypse.
Enough of this bickering. The plain fact is the situation we find ourselves in is intolerable.
Actually, I'm rather enjoying myself. I find it quite refreshing. I think it's quite far-sighted of the old man to let us have a different perspective of the department.
Buggeration, woman! Stop bloody interrupting me. I think we all know what your perspective has achieved over the last 3 weeks.
And what's that supposed to mean?
I think he's referring to the current Middle East war, dear. War? It's not a war, it's a bloody fiasco. In what twisted world do hardened Arab guerrillas mince about? In blue bloody chiffon!
I just don't think violence solves anything, Albert. How are we expected to improve society when we continually send out the message that it's all right to reward violence with violence?
We are the 4 horsemen of people of the apocalypse, sent to destroy the earth, not suffocated in a frenzy of cardigan-wearing, tree-hugging, fang bloody swine! This job's what bollocks is ridiculous. It's time we take matters into our own hands.
Are we suggesting?
It is time, my brothers. Oh, give it a rest, Penelope. It is time, my brothers and sister, to invoke the code of sufferance and to summon help.
The code of sufferance? No, surely you don't mean it.
Oh, we need help, Penelope.
Yes, I understand. No, thank you for calling. You'll hear from me in due course. Expect a messenger. Goodbye.
Well, that's a turn up. Looks like my eternal damnation might be finally coming to an end. No more sitting around in this reeking inferno. No more rubbing shoulders with the great unwashed. No more trolls and pixies. And I can finally get out of all this heat. Hello? Leviathan? Leviathan, hello? What do you mean, who is it? Leviathan, hi. It's Gary, Satan's PA. I've got Satan on the line for you. Please hold.
Leviathan, I received the call. The revolt is beginning. Send Frank. He is the best agent we have. I do not wish to hear your excuses, Leviathan. You will send the agent of my choosing.
Lucifer! Lucifer!
Listen, just do as I bid. I'll call later. Oh, and remember, not a word to Mummy.
I've got your jacket. Was that did I hear you on the phone? What?
The door! Close the door!
Don't be such a baby. How can you live in this inferno and complain about a bit of smoke?
You know I have asthma.
Asthma. Asthma my arse. Hypochondria more like. Honestly, a little bit of smoke. Whoever heard of Lucifer being allergic to a little bit of smoke? It's a good job that I'm around here to look after things. Bloody ridiculous. Now, who were you on the phone to?
No one, Mummy.
It sounded like someone to me.
Oh, it wasn't, Mummy.
Do I have to dial 1471? Tell me the truth, Lucifer.
It wasn't anyone. Honest. All right, I'll tell you. I was speaking to Leviathan, okay?
No, young man, it is not okay. Leviathan is not a good influence. How many times do I have to tell you? I don't want you spending time with him and his cronies. Do you have any idea what they get up to down there on level 9? I can assure you, Lucifer Perkins, that you would not want to spend time with them if you did. I hope you're not thinking of doing anything silly. Do you remember the last time you tried to run the place? Exactly. Infested with trolls for weeks we were. No, I need you to stay here and look important and leave the day-to-day things to me.
Oh, but it's boring. I want to spread some evil.
Now you listen to me, my boy. If there is any spreading of evil to be done, I'll be the one to do it. Do you hear me?
Shall I take the rubbish out?
Stop right there, young man. Where are your cloven hooves and your pointy tail with the arrow thingy on the end?
On the hook over there.
Well, they're not much good over there, are they? What if you had to go out in a hurry? What would people say with the Lord of Hell walking around tailless and in those sandals?
Well, I'll put them on first.
What if you didn't have time? What if there was a fire or something?
Mum, you may not have noticed, but the whole place is on fire, all the time. Why do you think I have constant heat rash?
Louis, it's important to have the right image. The hooves, the tail, the horns, the red suit, they ooze evil and they demand respect. A tank top does not ooze evil and it does not demand respect. People laugh.
Mum, I speak through a loudhailer. I'm betting people already laugh.
Well, I will admit that a young man in a tank top speaking through a loudhailer would certainly be a figure of fun. But if you throw in the suit and the scary accessories, the loudhailer becomes a charming affectation of an evil genius. And the whole package turns you from a dull, pathetic, introverted fashion victim into a dangerous man of intrigue and mystery.
A dangerous man of what?
The suit hints at the promise of a finely toned, muscular body rippling beneath soft velvet. Animal, passion,
pulsating and burning, beating with a life of its own, given oxygen by the quiet, brooding confidence of the man. A flash of the predator glimpsed as he prowls your heart, prodding and probing, all the while assailing your womanhood, until eventually he takes you roughly in his arms, rips the clothes from your body, and then... Oh, well, needless to say, no man in a tank top is ever going to rip the clothes from my body. So, I hope you will appreciate the importance of the whole evil genius ensemble. Now, take the rubbish out.
Bloody hell.
No, you're not. You're a goblin.
No, definitely a cherubim.
But you've got goblin ears.
Accident at birth. People keep mistaking me for a goblin. It's an easy mistake to make. I've got wings and everything.
These are your wings?
Yes, lovely, aren't they? Lovely, big, soft, silver cherubim wings. Lovely, lovely, big, soft, silver angel wings.
They're not real.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not. They're stuck on with gaffer tape.
Sorry, did I say cherubim? I meant seraphim.
Right, so you're a seraphim with false wings.
I lost the original pair. Yes, that's it. I lost them in the pub. Yes. I lost my original lovely big soft silver seraphim wings in the pub.
You lost your original pair at the pub.
Yup, got completely trolleyed one night and lost them. One moment they were there, the next, poof, they were gone.
They just disappeared.
That's right.
So you made yourself a new set and stuck them on with gaffer tape?
Yes.
Flying must be a tad difficult then?
A bit, yeah.
You wouldn't care to demonstrate for me, I suppose.
No, not really.
Isn't it the truth that you are, in fact, a goblin from Satan's secret service, sent here to facilitate an uprising in heaven, and that you've come dressed in a frankly ludicrous costume, in the vague hope of entering heaven unseen, and that these are made out of cardboard and tinfoil, and bear no resemblance to angel wings whatsoever? You're utterly incompetent.
All right, yes, it's all true. I've only just graduated from the Underworld University of Spying, and I was trying to make a good impression. They'll kill me if they find out I was screwed up. I'm Frank, by the way. What was it that gave me away?
The wings might have had something to do with it.
Were they not realistic?
About as realistic as Donald Trump's hair. What did you graduate in?
I majored in hiding under chairs.
Hiding under chairs?
Yeah, I'm brilliant at it. Look, I'll show you. If you go over there and I'll hide and you see if you can find me.
Hello?
Bugger. I can do this, you know, I just didn't have very much time to prepare just now. Let's try it again.
Let's not.
Please? I can feel my confidence ebbing away.
I can't think why. You've done a capital job of everything so far.
I just need to prove I can do it.
Okay. Oh, I wonder where you might be. I've looked everywhere and I can't seem to find you. Okay, Frank, you proved your point. You're amazing at hiding. You can come out now. Okay, Frank, you proved your point. You can come out now.
You knew all along.
Yes, I was trying not to hurt your feelings.
Well, that's very kind of you, but I really can't do this. Perhaps if we...
Tried it again?
Yes.
No.
Just once?
No.
Why not?
Because I'm running out of patience, and you're running out of chairs to hide behind. Who is it you came here to meet?
I can't tell you that. I'd sooner die than betray my mission.
That can be arranged. Look, listen, Frank. You're a spy who's not very good at spying, and you've got nowhere to hide. And before we go through this chair situation, and I do mean literally, you won't last 15 minutes in heaven in that get-up. So you can either tell me who you came here to meet, or I'll turn you over to security. I'll give you 10 seconds to make up your mind.
All right. I came to meet with 3 of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
There are only 3 horsemen of the apocalypse. Look, that doesn't matter. Well, it does, just not right now. So you came here to meet with war, famine and death.
That's right. Apparently the 4 horsemen...
Horse person.
Well, anyway, and just between you and me, this plague character is a bit of a goody-goody. Very high almighty. War says what this plague really needs is a damn good...
Yes, well, let's not finish that thought. Utterly incompetent though you are, Frank, I think you may have found your way to save your skin.
Really?
Yes. Come with me. You can tell me about your plan.
You never told me your name.
Oh, how remiss of me. My name's Plague, and apparently I need a damn good...
She's got bloody good.
Keep your voice down, Albert.
No, I can't.
Then for God's sake, shut up.
Well, what do we do now?
We wait. We've invoked the code, they're sending the messenger. His name's Frank. He's very good at hiding, apparently.
Mr. Perjury, please calm down. Yes, I'm sure you're not very happy about being dead. Yes, I know Mrs. Perjury found the whole situation very distressing, but that's no excuse to go stabbing one of my seraphims with a shoe now, is it? Mr. Perjury, put that harp down. I'm warning you, if you throw that harp at me, you'll be in big trouble. Mr. Perjury, I will not tell you again. What? Okay, yes, from your perspective, I suppose being dead is about the worst kind of trouble you could be in. But there's not much I can do about that now, is there? Mr. Perjury, I absolutely forbid you to throw that person at me. Guards, can you please seek some medical attention for Mother Teresa? And, yeah, will somebody want you to get her sandaled? There, yes, thank you. But, Mr. Perjury, please desist from throwing things at me. What? No, I can't resurrect you and Mrs. Perjury. If it was that easy, don't you think I've done it for my own son by now? I mean, quite apart from Rich, you've been gone for ages. Your mutilated corpses have already been cremated. Mrs. Perjury, yeah, I'm sorry, that was insensitive of me, yes. Mrs. Perjury, please stop screaming. I've said I was sorry. I mean, quite apart from which, your sudden reappearance on Earth would cause all kinds of problems. Okay, just let me make some phone calls and I'll see what we can sort out. Come in. Peter, you catch me at somewhat of a difficult time, I'm afraid. A continuation of what we were discussing.
And what of, Geoffrey, sir?
Well, so far this week, 431 cases of mistaken identity. What can I do for you, anyway?
Well, I thought you might be interested in the latest from the Department of the Apocalypse.
She should have been here 3 hours ago.
Probably just got held up on the old celestial staircase. I mean, it's been running on variable speed ever since that bloody riot the other day.
The celestial staircase? I hardly think an agent from hell would be coming through the front door, Albert.
How else are they bloody well going to get in?
Well, I don't know, do I? All I'm saying is if it were me, I'd be looking to come in the back way.
Have you ever been to the back of heaven, Geoffrey?
No.
I took Sally Chilvers to the back of heaven once.
Yes, thank you, Albert. I don't think we need to hear the end of that little lascivious thought, do we? No, the point is, Geoffrey, that once inside, heaven is infinite. There is no back door. The only way in or out is through the front gate.
So what you're saying is that this Frank character is going to have to get past Peter, all of his guards, and that little bloke at the front that stamps your ticket as you get in.
Exactly. Now, hopefully the ruckus a little bit earlier would have caused enough of a distraction to allow him to pass through unseen.
He'll never get past Shorthouse at the kiosk. Nothing ever gets past that bloody Jobsworth.
Well, Frank is very good at hiding, remember. We'll just have to trust that he's inventive enough in order to evade security. Now, that'll be him now. And there we are! A cleaner! Brilliant!
Begging your pardon, sir?
You're just in time, woman. There's not a moment to lose.
Well, I did say it was an urgent matter. May I come in?
Oh, of course.
Where should I start?
Look, I know it's not normally the done thing, but would you mind showing us how you do it?
Do it, sir?
Yes! Your skills are so highly trained, and there's not many people that can do what you do.
That's what I was telling my supervisor, Mr. Glanfield. I was saying, Mr. Glanfield, you're so lucky to have me.
Mr. Glanfield?
Satan! So, will you show us how you do it?
Of course I will, sir. It'll be my pleasure, that's the truth. Now, the secret is in the grip. No spoke. They hold it too far down the shaft. That's all right for the short one that can get in the corners. Don't do like moving a stroke. You need to be holding at the top of the handle. More control that way. So rather than the under-hand approach, I'm on the over-hand approach. More control. And then it's about the distance and the river.
Is she bloody Holybourne?
That's it.
That's what?
She is going to stay in character till she can be sure that we are kosher. We are death, famine, and war. And we've been expecting you.
Oh, I shall yes, sir. The requisition was only put in an hour ago and I was told it was an urgent matter.
And indeed it is! But would you just mind showing us how you do it?
Oh, I just asked, sir.
No. That. Hiding!
Hiding?
Yes, I want to see you hide.
You want to see me hide?
now?
Well, if it's all the same with you, sir, I'd rather work alone, so, you can make yourself scarce, because you'd only be getting under my feet otherwise.
Oh, of course, we'll leave you to it then. Come on.
So you're saying that the Department of the Apocalypse is in cahoots with Satan and they've sent an agent to overthrow me?
Oh, the Department of Apocalypse didn't send for him, Mr. Richards. I can call you Mr. Richards, can't I? Oh no, he was sent by Satan himself.
Wait a minute. Who exactly is Mr. Richards, may I ask?
That, Peter, would be me. Ta-da!
What?
Well, that's my name. Before I changed it to God, Arthur Richards.
But you've always been God, haven't you? I mean, in your biography it says, and I remember this bit quite clearly, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. What it doesn't say is, in the beginning, Arthur Richards created the heavens and the earth. Because I'm pretty sure I remember something like that.
It was just a piece of journalistic frippery, I'm afraid, Peter. I mean, for starters, in the beginning, Arthur Richards created the heavens and the earth. It didn't have quite the ring about it I was looking for. And I mean, if we're going to be picky, that entire first sentence isn't all that accurate.
What do you mean, not all that accurate?
It's like this, Peter. So the whole heavens and earth thing was actually my great aunt Gertie's idea. I mean, as far as everyone else is concerned, she's just there actually. She used to just be, as far as everyone else is concerned, she used to be knitting jumper after endless jumper, making an unfeasibly large amount of preserves and dribbling down her cardigan. But I mean, the heaven's never been awash of modern thinkers, has it? And the thought that a woman, I mean, can you imagine?
You're saying that she was God?
Yes.
You're saying your great aunt created heaven and earth?
Indeed.
Aunt Gertie persuaded young Arthur here to be the public front to her little charade. Everyone else could see that he was the big cheese, while all along there was a little old lady smelling of wee who was the brains of the outfit.
Indeed, and when she retired, well, went mad actually, there was no one else to carry on the job. I mean, I had some superpowers, nothing like Gertie's, of course, but I just sort of fell into being the real God.
Well, Arthur, I'm very disappointed. How on earth do you expect me to provide adequate security here if you keep these things from me?
I'm sorry, Peter, but you couldn't know. You couldn't. I mean, you understand that, don't you? It would have put us both in grave danger. I mean, if I'd ever been found out, you'd have gone down with me. You'd have lost your job, your sainthood, everything. It was too much to risk. It was too much to ask. It was a burden I had to bear alone. No one else knew the truth. It just seemed better for everyone if things just carried on as they were.
Except someone else does know the truth. Isn't that right, Arthur?
Well, yes, but I hardly think they're in a position to use it against me.
Not now, but they could be soon.
Excuse me?
Someone with rather a lot to gain around here.
Excuse me?
Someone who felt a little hard done by in the past.
Shut up! Thank you. Now will someone please tell me, in the name of heaven, what is going on?
What's going on is that someone knows Arthur's dirty little secret.
Who?
Satan. Satan knows Arthur's not really God. After all, he was the chosen one, wasn't he? An archangel, no less. And you were like a father to him, weren't you, Arthur? The father he never had, which made his betrayal of you all that more painful. Satan knows everything. Satan knows that Arthur's not really God.
What do you mean I'm not really God?
Listen.
You're not really God.
Listen. He may not have created heaven and earth, but he did create man and woman.
No, he didn't.
I think you can be quiet now, Penelope.
But you didn't create man. That was your cousin, Fanny.
You didn't create man either.
Well, not as such.
Not as such, I see. What about the birds?
No.
The seas?
Nope.
Fishes.
Sorry.
Beasts.
No.
Did you actually create anything at all?
Wasps.
Wasps. I see. So you were suddenly blessed with infinite power and you decided to create wasps? Can I ask why?
Oh, look, I'm not proud of it, all right? But by the time I became God, everything else was ticking along nicely. There was nothing else to do.
And the one person who does know your dirty little secret is the very person who could do you the most harm. If he makes it common knowledge around here, Arthur can kiss goodbye to the big chair, and it won't be long before news leaks onto Earth, and then bang, goodbye Christianity. Hello tall pointy hats and vaguely erotic ritual sacrifices.
Well, but I can't lose my job. I can't lose my job. I've always been God. All right, I've not always been God, but I've been doing it long enough I haven't got anything else to fall back on. I mean, my son's got his carpentry, I suppose, but for me, I'll be finished. Right, as your divine lord, I'm commanding you to come up with a plan to save my arse, all right? No more managing security, no more infesting the earth, no. From now on, everyone's number one priority is this: saving God's arse. Do you hear?
That, Arthur, will come at a price.
Blackmail, Penelope? I really don't think so.